Hey there everyone, this is Monkey Trap and Flynn, guys. We're getting back with some more Final Fantasy 9. I almost did it again. Donkey Kong Country 2 was on the tip of my tongue. So I realized that I never actually really went over all the new stuff. I mean, because like part of me was like it's pretty obvious, but I mean we can kind of just do a brief little looky-loo at all the new stuff from our party members. So we got Garnet here. Garnet, she's a hybrid kind of. She's a white mage and a summoner. But of course, as you can see, like I mentioned before, you know, her summons are really expensive, so we can't use them for now. So you know, we'll have to, you know, it'll be a while before we can use these. We've got these abilities. You know, she's got Cure, which is, you know, extremely straightforward. It's literally just, you know, heal one or multiple targets. Something to know about pretty much anything in this game, that if a magic spell can be single target or multi-targeted, then generally if you multi-target, it's going to be roughly half as strong. So, right, and it includes in here too. So, you know, sometimes it's better to single target, sometimes it's better to multi-target. You know, use your judgment. You got Panacea. Is that how you pronounce that? This is like a common word, but I never know how to pronounce it. Once again, very straightforward, removes venom and poison. It's single target, even though it doesn't mention, but, you know, if I press the multi-target button, nothing happens, so. And same thing here, you got Protect, which is exactly what you expect it to be. It's, you put Protect on someone, and they take half damage from physical attacks. I don't think she has any abilities, no. Zidane, Zidane didn't get anything. Vivi didn't get anything. He got his, you know, his new elemental magics, which you haven't really been using because everything in the force was weak to fire. But that's actually, now I think that's not going to be changing still. But you know, I do appreciate that feature that you can see what equipment gives you what. Like it's really nice. But like yeah, we'll learn more about this stuff not too long from now. I don't think. I forget where there's a tutorial on elemental stuff, but we'll see that, I'm pretty sure, pretty soon. So we'll go over that then. Steiner, he has his killer stuff, antibody. Antibody is just, all of your status immunity in this game is not done from equipment. Well, it is done from equipment, but not through, like, it's not the equipment itself, it's the abilities that the equipment gives you. So like antibody, when you have this equipped, poison and venom doesn't work on you anymore. So, like, you can kind of prepare for stuff that way. Yeah, and I guess we'll just go over Minus Strike. Minus Strike is, once again, pretty straightforward. It's just however HP you have left, minus, or I guess it's your max HP minus your current HP, essentially. So, like, if Starter's at 1 HP, he'll do 226 damage with this. Minus Strike is sort of in a weird spot where it's actually really good when you first get it, but it kind of like quickly falls off and stops being very useful, mainly because Steiner has a lot of HP relative thanks to the way HP scales in this game, but his damage rate, especially early on, his damage raises pretty quickly, and it never really gets, like, he's pretty much always going to be doing more damage than he has health with his physical attacks. So like Minus Strike doesn't tend to be very useful, except for, like, right now. Because right now he is actually, you know, he does actually have more health than he does damage. And, you know, even later in the game, like, it is useful against things that have high defense. Because this is just fixed damage and doesn't care about that stuff. And it's also useful when you're, like, giving him a different weapon to use. Like, if I kept him with this broadsword, it would actually be useful because the Minus Strike is doing a lot more damage than the broadsword stuff when he's at lower HP. But we're going to be swapping over to the Iron Sword because Moonstone already gives him Beast Killer anyways. There's no point. And since the Rubber Hand gives him Minus Strike, but since we're getting that now, we can swap over to something else. Like, we'll just go this one, get Bug Killer. I don't think there's any bugs we're going to be killing for a while, but you know, it's good to work towards it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Not particularly. Still don't have any new hats. No, I think that's pretty much it. I guess we can see the descriptions of these. Just nothing straight, you know, it's all pretty straightforward. Combat rod, all that jazz. The bronze helm does half water damage, and I think, yeah, the armor gives you half wind damage. The water damage isn't particularly useful forever, but the wind damage actually does come in handy on something later. And we'll see that when that happens. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's enough stalling. Yeah, let's just enter the Ice Cavern. By the way, I apologize. I do have a stuffy nose, so my voice is probably a little nasally. You know, there's not really much I can do about that, but this is like an absolutely perfect time to record, so I kind of have to. This must be the cavern. What's up, Vivi? Have you ever heard of the Ice Cavern? Sure. Is this the place? I think so. It's supposed to be near Evil Forest. I've heard of it. It's supposed to be a beautiful place, covered in ice. My grandpa told me about this place. He said the cavern takes travelers to the top of the mist. Bravo! Master Vivi's grandfather must be quite a scholar. We must thank him upon escaping the mist. My grandpa used to teach me a lot of things, but he passed away. Oh, forgive my indiscretion. Don't worry about it. Well, why don't we go inside? Ugh. So Evil Forest was kind of like, you know, it was like a little early taste of dungeoning, and now this is like our first full-blown just, you know, dungeon we're heading through. Oh, what a beautiful place. Seeing the actual cavern is so much better than reading about it. Oh, how pretty. I wonder what kind of flower this is. Princess, please don't touch anything. Can we get moving? I'm freezing here. Yeah, that'll happen when you wear, you know, sleeveless... Like, he's got cuffs, but no sleeves, you know. Boop. Yeah, you can, you know... Zidane is a thief, and he's an agile one of that, so a lot of the time, even when you're going through dungeons, there's places to, jump up to. You know, you gotta keep an eye out for that crap. Huh, look at this wall over here. Huh? What's this? What a strange wall. There's gotta be something behind it. Hey, Vivi! Yes? Can you break this wall down with your magic? I'm coming. Whoa! Oh, I skipped the text. Oops. Well, no. We'll see that later. The thing is with the... So you can see, like, this cutscene's kind of put this in this, like, spot where he's, like, walking up to it. Thing is there's actually a few breakable walls in this dungeon, and every time you get to your first wall, you get a cutscene like this. The text is always the same, but, like, the way they walk around and, like, move around is different, so... I'll probably show that off in the half part. So, you know, we missed some text, but I'll make sure to read it whenever. I'm pretty sure he says something along the lines of just like, see, I knew it. There might be other walls like this. I'm counting on you, Vivi. Sure. Hey, an ether. Oh, yeah, you want to head behind here. So, this dungeon has a couple, like, interesting things related to it. I mean, obviously, you know, it's got the random encounters, but you'll notice the wind streams kind of blowing around. And the thing with these wind streams is they aren't just nothing, but, you know, we'll see if I run into one by accident. Oh, Flan. Flan are kind of fun, so... sorry about that. Got interrupted. What was I talking about? Right, Flan, Fly. So Flan have... they don't actually have the ridiculous physical defense like they do in other games. And you can see here as we smack one, right, they still die in like one hit. However, they do have one little quirk with them. Let's see if they, let's give them a chance to attack too. Because I believe they can use their little head attack. They also have they can use Blizzard, but you know, it's what. So they don't have ridiculous physical defense, but they do still have, you know, no match at defense. So we can go and watch how much Vivi, you know, watch this. Damn, 500 damage. It's a lot of damage. You can already see how much damage Steiner is doing with just the iron sword, though, hey? Already doing, like, you know, halfway to, you know, more than halfway to 200 damage. Anyways. More flan. Oh, but hey, it's our first back attack. Actually, is it our first back attack? I don't even remember. I think I mentioned, yeah, back attacks are just, you know, 1.5 times damage, you know, and you flip your rows, so you have to, you know, quickly swap back. Not that it's particularly a big deal. Early game is pretty easy because as long as you have Garnet, right? Her cure is ridiculously strong right now. Man, just interruptions galore. So yeah, you'll see that whenever I'm doing random encounters, for the most part, I'll just be stealing with Zidane, and you know, that's just generally like good practice. Nothing right now is particularly difficult enough that we need to worry about, you know, maximizing your damage anyways. Alright, stealing lots of potions, like those are great, you know. I guess I should just be defending with these guys. More potion. These guys probably have other stuff to steal, but you know, who cares? Mess them up with Steiner. Every once in a while, even if you know, kill someone with, you know, like you can say, like, even though Steiner got the last blow, sometimes, I'm not sure what dictates this, it might just be random. Sometimes it just doesn't show a character, it'll just do a little group zoom out. You know. But you know, don't quote me on that, I have no idea. Set on up. Here's the next area. Huh? What's this? Whoa! An elixir. Elixir during the fight. Yeah, tell me what that's a reference to. Hey, finally, it's our other enemy of this dungeon. There's only 2 enemies in here, it's just the Flans and these imps. Yeah, cave imps. Cave imps have 2 attacks they can do. They can, you know, they can stab you with their little pink rusty knife, and then they can also put you to sleep with this attack. And unfortunately, he put the most important character to sleep. So, you know, if someone's asleep, what do? But you smash them in the face to wake them up. Holy crap, I forgot how much damage that does. Calm down, Garnet. Uh-oh. Why do I have a feeling he's gonna okay, he didn't. That's pretty funny, though. Yeah, I mean, let's use that potion on Zidane, jeez. There you go. That'll do you so good, jeez. Yeah, the problem is early on, especially, like, whacking characters to wake them up can be pretty painful. In fact, let's take a quick look at that. in their menus. Do 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 do. It's like, what's Garnet's attack right now? Like, her attack right now is 11, and Zidane has 6 defense, so... yeah, she'll do a lot of damage to him. Alright. You know what, screw it, let's show the wind. So this dungeon is random encounters, but there's a third enemy in this dungeon. Whenever you walk into the wind streams, you get this son of a bitch. The weirds. These guys are a little tougher. They're also like, you have to actually like actively avoid them. Now I say they're tougher, but like we might actually... Oh. Yeah, they're tougher, but that doesn't mean that they're like... You know, Steiner's really strong right now, so, you know. Man, I did not expect him to kill it in one hit. That's pretty funny. Quick, out of the way. I mean, I'll show off those guys in more detail in the half part, because the weirds have a fun attack. But, you know, so we can break this icicle, and guess what we get from this chest? Hey, a Mage Masher! Hey, yeah, so if you don't steal that Mage Masher from Baku all the way at the start of the freaking game, this is when you finally get one. Kind of shows how, like, useful that Mage Masher steal is. Wait for it. And wait on over here. So I forget if I mentioned this before, but whenever like you transition to, oh wait, I actually definitely did mention that, but you know, I'll go do it one more time as like a more like official thing. Whenever you like walk over the screen boundary to like a new screen, Beast Killer. I still want him to learn Flea Gills, so we'll keep that wrist on him for now. We'll give it to Garnet. Whenever you walk over a new screen to a new screen, like, why do I keep just when you enter a new area, like the random encounter rate, like step count resets, which basically means that like if you're right about to get in a random encounter and then you like, you know, exit the screen, right? You might just in fact like, or you will like reset that, so like you can kind of just like doody-doo and all that jazz. We're gonna run from this, guys, because I don't feel like fighting them. Even though running in this game can be kind of challenging because the rate is pretty low. Ah, but there we go. So we can get a little money and we stole some potions so we can just heal up Garnet anyways. No big deal. That's what's nice about pretty much always having this thief in the party, and like enemies always have like something decent to steal. Like, off the top of my head, I'm not sure if there's anything, like, normal enemies in this game that don't have something to steal. So yeah, so we'll just potion up. Look how many potions we already have now. It's pretty juicy. Alright, don't walk into the wind. Just skip on all that. Hallelujah. Ah, this screen. So we got two paths here. You got the right path, which looks like we're gonna freeze our asses off. And the left path with is just, you know, a little ice path. So let's go down the ice path. You know, be reasonable about this. And hey, look, it's a Moogle, but he's, you know, he's looking a little chilly here. Hot, hot, hot! You bastards! Oh, I can move again. Thanks, Kupo. Teach me, Mogster, lesson 2, oh baby. Hey bro, what are you gonna teach me today? Lots of neat stuff. I'm gonna give another interesting lecture today. Oh boy, yeah. We'll do the elemental properties first. So, there are a total of 8 elemental properties. Fire, ice, thunder, earth, water, wind, holy, and shadow. Applying these elemental properties to your attacks and defense makes battles a lot easier. But your enemies can take advantage of them as well, so watch out. To apply them, you have to understand their natures. Fire, effective against ice and undead monsters. Ice is effective against insects, large enemies, and fire or dragon type monsters. Thunder is effective against enemies near water, and they don't mention this, but it is occasionally effective against metallic enemies as well. Earth doesn't work on flying monsters. Water is effective against fire monsters. Wind is effective against flying monsters. Holy is effective against shadow monsters, and shadow is effective against holy monsters. There is also a non-elemental property, which is not affected by any elemental property. Did all that sink in? It's easy once you get the hang of it. He doesn't mention this here, but there's a couple different types of elemental like defenses and weaknesses. Well, there's only one weakness, but there's a couple types of defenses. So if you're weak to an element in this game and that an attack has that element, you take 1.5 times damage. Which, you know, can be, I think, yeah, so you can only have like one elemental effect damage boosted at once. So like if your attack has multiple elements, like say I used an attack that does, you know, ice and thunder damage and the enemy is weak to ice and thunder, it still will only do 1.5 times damage even though it hits 2 weaknesses, because that's just how it works. You can only, like, you know, it basically it's just like a simple like, is it weak, yes or no, you know, there's no like multiple stacking. However, there's also several types of defenses. So first of all, there's resistant, which, you know, makes you take half damage to that element. There's like immune, which, you know, makes you take no damage from element, and then there's absorption, which makes you take basically makes you heal from an element. And we can use equipment that has all those different properties, including being weak, so, you know, you have to be watch out for that. We'll do the card game one first. The official name of the card game is Tetramaster. Many people all over the world play Tetramaster. The only way to find out who plays is by challenging them. Tetramaster players never back down from a challenge. To challenge people, walk up to them, press square. Players, blah 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 blah, we've already seen some stuff like this. Basically, if we didn't learn this from, you know, Mr. Wanderer Jack, Alleyway Jack, you know, this is where you can learn this quickly. Do. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. So, status effects. Status effects in this game actually have a lot of properties to them. Status refers to a character's condition. There are good status effects and bad status effects, so pay attention. We'll go over bad status effects first. The following status effects go away when the battle is over. So, give me a second here. I'm going to pause this for a second here, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Jeez, that was like freaking like 15 minutes. I basically went and like I actually looked at 2 different websites for this. I looked at 2 sites for this because information on this is weirdly inconsistent. I looked at the official wiki and I also looked at a battle mechanics guide because they both have different information missing for some reason. I'm not sure why, because status effects do a lot of things, and even though it just says stuff like, you know, like confuse makes you lose control of your character, but it does a lot more than that is the thing. So I'll go over what the page says, and I'll, you know, do a little in-depth with, I have a little document here. So, confuse, you lose control of your character, which, you know, basically means they attack random targets. Berserk increases your attack, your strength, but the character will just randomly attack enemies. Stop means they can't do anything. Poison means you lose HP gradually. Sleep means you fall asleep and, you know, you can't move. And then slow means, you know, your HP gauge fills up roughly half as fast. So, the reason why I wanted to do this is because, thankfully, the music will still play when I do this, but, you should see this perfectly fine. The thing is that each status effect has a bunch of effects that aren't mentioned here, so I'm gonna quickly go over them. You can kind of see what they do here quickly. But first of all, we want to find Confuse. Where's Confuse? Damn it. I wish I put this in alphabetical order. Confuse. So, yes, they attack a random target, friend or enemy, but their accuracy is halved as well, so they'll miss half the time. And confused units can't evade. So any physical attack that hits a confused target will always hit. Second, we've got Berserk. So Berserk is pretty much the same thing. Attack is boosted by 50% and they just attack a random enemy, no other effects. That one's the most straightforward. It actually mostly just does what it says, so. Stop, the character cannot move. I think it actually mentions this one later, but I'll just go over it now. Just to talk about it. So, when a character is stopped, they are completely frozen, they can't do anything, and they also obviously can't evade. When a stop character is counted as incapacitated for game over purposes. So, if a character is stopped and the rest of your characters have been KO'd, you lose instantly. So keep that in mind. Poison, HP gradually decreases. This one's also pretty straightforward. I don't even need the document. Poison just makes you take 1/16 of your health every periodic amount of time. The amount of time that it takes for poison to do damage varies based on your spirit stat, actually. Your spirit stat actually affects a lot of random stuff like this, so having a high spirit stat generally makes status effects less effective against you, so keep that in mind. Sleep. The character falls asleep and cannot move. Let's go over that one. That one's pretty straightforward too. So first of all, if a character is asleep, then a physical attack will wake them up, but magic attacks will not wake them up. Sleeping targets can't evade. You'll notice this is a theme. A lot of status effects make it so that targets have no evasion, so which is useful for you, but it's also useful because you'll notice sleeping confusion, for example, had it. So that means that if you try to whack a sleeping character or a confused character to stop them, it won't. You don't have to worry about it just missing, which is actually super nice. Because I was watching someone play Final Fantasy X, for example. I played that recently, and this was a huge problem in that game. If you had someone like Titus or Waka confused or asleep, and you tried to wake them up with Yuna or something, because her strength generally doesn't get very high if you aren't doing it, she'll just miss most of the time anyways, so it becomes a pain in the ass to wake them up. It's kind of silly, but in this game that's not a problem because it always hits. Also, this is something that's never mentioned, but when you hit something that's sleeping with a physical attack, it deals 1.5 times damage, and this stacks with other sources, so you can actually get some pretty good damage by putting something to sleep and then smacking them with a strong physical hit. And then slow is just, I forget what the rate is actually. Let me look. It says slightly more than half speed, so I'll go with that. It's probably something like 66%. Slow is, we'll see that later. And then here are some interesting ones. Heat and freeze. Heat and freeze are actually status effects that exist in 6, but they're kind of non-existent and don't really do the same thing here. So they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool status effects for this game. So heat is, if a character that is under heat does any action, they die. And likewise, if a character is frozen and gets smacked by any physical attack, they also die. It's they break, they basically shatter, basically. But it isn't 10. They just get KO'd, so they can revive them. Mini. Character shrinks, reduces battle power and defense. So we'll go over heat and freeze here quickly. They're both pretty straightforward. I think heat is actually exactly what it says. You don't have to worry about that, right? Heat is just, yeah, the thing is you have to keep in mind too, counterattacks and we'll get an ability called auto potion later. Stuff like that will instantly KO them too, so you have to be careful. What's cool about heat and freeze is that if you use an ice attack on something that's in heat, it will cure the heat. So you can cure heat later on with Vivi using a blizzard spell, which is really nice. Freeze. Freeze is pretty much exactly what it says, but it also, target is frozen, can't evade. Keep that in mind. And also, freezing is also obviously cured by a fire spell. Freeze also acts stop. I think I said that, but just double checking. Well, it doesn't actually count as if everyone's frozen, you don't lose. So that's at least a little crutch. Just doesn't screw. And what was it? Mini is actually extremely strong in the game. A lot of people don't realize how strong it is. So first of all, when you're mini, your strength is reduced to 1, which means you always deal minimum damage, no matter how. Actually, is it strength is reduced to 1 or attack power is reduced to 1? It's one or the other, but either way, it makes it so you deal basically no damage to anything that you hit. You'll basically never do more than double-digit damage, even at end game. You do very little damage. It also reduces your magic damage by 50%, so even if someone like Vivi gets shrunk, his magic gets weaker too. And it increases the damage you take from physical attacks by 50% as well. So Mini is really strong because it basically, especially significantly reduces your physical damage, but reduces your magic damage too, and makes you take more damage. So yeah, Mini's strong in this game. And a special note with mini spells is that Mini cures Mini. So if someone is minied, you can just use Mini on them to reverse the mini, which is kind of a mainstay of the series, but, you know, just keeping, you know, something to keep in mind. Now we'll discuss very bad status effects that don't go away after the battle is over. These effects are displayed in the main menu. So Petrify, Venom, Virus, and Silence. Petrify is, you know, very straightforward. A character becomes petrified and cannot move. Petrify is kind of interesting because it kind of counts as KO, but it's done very differently, basically, in a sense, because a petrified character becomes immune to basically everything. Most monsters will have, like, a check to make sure that they won't waste time attacking a petrified character, but, like, anything that's, like, group target will still hit them, and it'll generally just say, like, they'll take 0 damage, and, like, status effects are always, like non-effective on a petrified target. So, for all intents and purposes, it's basically just stop, but you don't, you know, when you cure a petrified character, they don't, have, like, no HP, right? They have the HP they had before they got petrified. Venom is basically super poison in this game. I think Venom is only in this game. I don't think any other Final Fantasy game has Venom. Venom does HP and NP damage. The character is completely frozen a la stop, so it counts as a KO for game over purposes. And we'll go over here quickly. I believe... Where is Venom? It's still 116, so it's not more than that, but I believe it... Yeah, this persists after battle. Is there anything I'm missing? I thought there was something else. Oh yeah. They can't evade attacks either. Like, pretty much anything that freezes a target will almost always make it so they have no evasion. So it's useful for that kind of thing. Virus. Virus is basically KO, but without being KO'd. You can't gain experience or AP if you have Virus, and also Virus is a status effect that once again makes it so any character that has Virus can't evade an attack. So that does that too. Silence is actually very straightforward. It just they can't use magic, and that's it. There's no other effect. Keep in mind that, like I mentioned in the first episode, not all abilities count as, like, Silence just stops actual magic, not like abilities. Like, if Zidane is affected by Silence, he can still, you know, use Flee to run away from battle. But if Vivi's affected by a Silence, he can't use any of his black magic. Darkness, Trouble, and Zombie. Darkness is straightforward. You know, when you have Darkness, your physical attack accuracy is reduced to 50%. Also worth noting, though, that once again, anyone that's affected by Darkness can't evade physical attacks. And I think that's actually it. I don't think there's anything else with it, but let me quickly check here. Yeah, affected can't evade. And yeah, it doesn't affect anything else. Like, even if Zidane's blinded, like, he can still steal just fine. Trouble is actually a very unique status effect. I'm not sure if there's any other RPGs out there that have a Trouble status effect like this. Definitely not in another Final Fantasy game. Trouble makes it so that when a target has Trouble and is hit by a single target attack, any damage that character taken is transferred to other characters as well. So, if Zidane is affected by Trouble, and he gets hit by an attack that only affects him, like, multi-target attacks aren't affected by this, so you don't get, you know, gang-banged by multi-target attacks, but Zidane's hit by a single target attack that does 1,000 damage. The other 3 characters in the party will take 500 damage, because it's transferred and halved. So, you know, it isn't as strong, but it's still can be potentially a very strong status effect. And you'll see that there's actually a boss later on that takes advantage of that and will kind of bone you if you aren't careful about that. And it is in fact total damage. Like, if you're weak to an element or something and, you know, the damage is increased by that, you know, like, it is full, like, the full final damage. So there's no, like, weird stuff there. Zombie, if you've played, you know, a couple Final Fantasy games. What Final Fantasy games have Zombie? I know 6 and 10 do. 8 does. I think 5 might have it too, but 7 does not. Those are like all the recent standard Final Fantasy games. So yeah, Zombie just makes so anything relates to healing is reversed on that character. So if you throw a potion or use a cure spell on a zombie character, they take damage instead of healing. If you drain HP from a zombie character, they actually get healed, and the character who's draining takes damage. So keep that in mind. This is definitely an important one to look at, because there's a lot of intricacies with zombie. Where is it here? Yeah, so, yeah, regen is reversed as well, which will cause damage. A KO target still is zombied. Like, getting KO'd normally removes most stat effects, but zombie is not removed. And when this is especially deadly, when a zombie character is killed, they cannot be healed from a Phoenix down on a life spell. You have to, like, cure the zombie first. It also, this is never mentioned, but you'll obviously notice it right away when it happens. A zombie character's trance gauge is immediately reduced to 0, and the trance gauge will not fill anymore. And zombie characters don't gain experience or AP. So it is very deadly. However, as it is mentioned here, we haven't seen this yet, but auras can heal HP, and they have because of the way they heal HP, they're actually immune to the zombie effect. So zombie characters can still be healed by jewels. So, you know, keep that in mind. That's actually surprisingly useful information depending on the fights you're in. You can cure their HP with tents, but, you know, it doesn't cure the zombie status, but this is one way to heal them outside of battle. So keep that in mind. Alright, enough of the bad stuff. Let's talk about the good status effects. And there's a lot to talk about. So auto life. You know, auto life, if you play 10, auto life is very, very noteworthy in that game, because auto life is basically the reason why most challenge runs are even possible in that game. But yeah, auto life. When a character is KO'd that has auto life, they're automatically restored from KO. The thing is that they don't mention, though, is that auto life restores you to 1 HP every time. There's no, like, bonus. So, like, it'll always bring you to 1 HP. So keep that in mind. Regen is literally just reverse toxic, or reverse poison. It is 1/16 of your HP, basically at the same rate poison does damage, I think. And is, you know, all the stats, I forgot to mention too. Oh man, I totally should have mentioned this. So he mentioned that some stat effects persist after battle. The thing is that some stat effects that don't persist after battle actually wear off. So heat, I'll actually quickly talk about that right now. So heat will wear off after time. Slow wears off after time. Sleep wears off after time. Freeze wears off after time. Poison wears off after time. No, confusion does not. Doom obviously wears off after time. I don't think he actually mentions Doom here. So yeah, Doom is just gradual death. Like, when you're affected by Doom, you have a 10-second timer. When that timer reaches 0, you're automatically KO'd. The thing with Doom is that it is like a hard, like, your HP reduced to 0. So even if you're zombie, this is something I also forgot to mention. Zombie, if you have zombie and you're affected by an instant death attack, your HP is instead completely restored instead of being reduced to 0. However, Doom does not give a shit about that. If you are doomed, and Doom is your Doom counter goes to 0 and you have zombie, you still die. So there's no way to be immune to Doom. Gradual Petrify is actually just, you know, gradual Petrify. When the timer is reduced to 0, you are just affected by Petrify. And I think, yeah, that's all the bad stat effects. So anything I mentioned there wears off after time. These ones can wear off after time too. Regen, Haste, and Float all wear off after time. So, Haste is just HP gauge fills up faster, and Float means that you're immune to earth damage while you're floating. These ones are a little weird thing. Yeah. Regen is 1/16, and, you know, the higher your spirit is, the faster you heal. The thing is, with regen and poison, or both, all, like, the time wearing off, and, like, anything that's like a time effect is affected by both the battle speed in the menu and by whether you're slow and hasted. And this is why I mentioned that the battle speed in the configuration menu isn't necessarily just a hard, like, faster battle speed is harder or, like, easier, because certain things, like, because regen wears off faster, but you also heal faster, it essentially means that a faster game speed along with haste makes the effect both stronger while it's happening, but it also wears off faster. So that, you know, that is something to keep in mind. And yeah, float just means ground-based attacks miss you. A weird thing with float in this game, it feels like float was intended to make you weak to wind. Because there's a lot of times, like, there's a couple enemies later in the game that'll, like, use wind attacks on you after floating you. The thing is, though, is that as far as we know, that's not the case. And that doesn't seem to actually happen. Which is kind of a weird thing. It's feel like they wanted you to, but they, like, ran out of time to implement that, or just forgot to, or something weird. It's kind of strange. Kind of a weird little thing. That's something to keep in mind. Oh wait, let me quickly check. Does haste? Where's haste in here? Was haste at the top? Probably, right? Where was haste? It's probably... Because I forget if it mentioned exactly the rate that haste works at. Because it said silence is slightly faster than half speed. Haste just says 50% faster. The thing with haste is that haste and slow essentially work as opposites to each other. If you're hasted and are affected by slow, slow will essentially cure your haste. And likewise, if you're affected by slow and are hit by haste, haste will effectively cure your slow. So, you know, keep that in mind. Shell, protect, vanish, and reflect. Shell and protect half magic damage and physical damage respectively. Vanish kind of works like a super protect. A character that is hit by vanish is immune to physical attacks completely, but it is cured by being hit by a magic attack. Reflect, reflects magic back at the caster though. Vanish and reflect kind of act like super shell and protect, but not entirely, because let me mention a couple extra effects here of them. So, protect is straightforward. Protect is just half physical damage. Shell is interesting though, because it not only does it half magic damage, it also halves the hit chance and accuracy of spells and status effects that can miss. So like, we'll see later, there's like normal like elemental magic like fire can't miss, but like if someone uses a status effect on us and we have shell makes that status effect hit us half as often. And same thing, like if a magic attack does damage but can miss, which we'll see later, that is halved as well, which is actually really useful. Because essentially, shell acts as a pseudo, like, status halvener, basically. Like, it doesn't make you immune, but it makes it harder to be hit. And vanish. Vanish, they didn't mention this, but not only does, when a target is vanished, anything that they do can't be evaded. So, like, if Zidane is invisible and he tries to attack something that normally has high evade, does not matter. He can hit that target no problem. I actually didn't check. It wasn't mentioned in either of the documents, but I believe that when a target is vanished, all magic is forced to hit, I want to say, which can also be very useful, but don't quote me on that. I think that might actually not be true. I know it's true in 6, for example, but I don't think that's actually true in this game, so, you know, keep that in mind. Reflect. So reflect has a bunch of quirks associated with it because like there's certain magic attacks that can't be reflected, and there's, you know, abilities and stuff that actually interact with protect, which is pretty cool. Well, you can get some spoilers and stuff if you're looking here, whatever. I don't really care. It's just, you know, it's in-game stuff. It's not that big a deal. An interesting thing about reflect, I actually put this in here. Reflect is actually stronger in international versions compared to the Japanese version. I think reflect is like by default 1.5 times in our version, but it's like it'll be a little stronger, but I think in the original Japanese version it's just normal damage. The thing is, and the thing that makes reflect so strong especially, is that if you have multiple targets, like especially like if you have everyone in the party with reflect and you use a magic attack that hits all of the party, all 4 instances of the magic will be reflected, and it'll essentially do like a big amount of damage, which is, you know, very useful. It's actually a really powerful technique late in the game. Oh yeah, he talks about Doom and Spectral Petrify here. And yeah, if all of our party members are inflicted with KO, Stop, Petrify, or Venom during battle, it's game over. And yeah, if you're KO'd, Petrified, under Virus, or Zombie when the battle ends, you don't get experience or AP. And that is pretty much everything to talk about with status effects. I don't believe there's anything else to talk about. Yeah, I didn't mention which status effects get removed by KO, which maybe would have been useful, but I think pretty much anything that's temporary or isn't like a KO, like if a status effect, oh, actually, I don't think about zombie isn't. Well, whatever, it's not a big deal. Most status effects are removed by KO. I think it's mainly just zombie that isn't. I can't think of anything else that is. So, anyways, yeah, that was a bit of a expender. A bit of a lengthy little spiel there, but, you know, it's fun. I like talking about stuff in the end because the attacks in this game are surprisingly intricate for what they are. Anyways, Moy, let's deliver a letter for Moy. Yeah, deliver a letter to Gumo for me, Kupo. Sure, thank you, Kupo. Oh, actually, Okay, let's save, but before I save, I believe oh, you know, I'm thinking of something else. Cause I'm thinking of a letter from who is it? Stiltskin, but you don't get the letter here. Rather, well, actually, I'll double check on that because I'm pretty sure you don't get it here, but you do get a letter talking about this guy. But I think like if we just go to Magnet, yeah, there's nothing to worry about in that regard. This is a nice room, by the way. Really intricate for just a little save room. Anyways, yeah, let's head on over to the ice room. Vivi, hurry up or you'll be left behind. I'm coming. Oh no! Yeah, Vivi's so cold he can't even control himself. Master Vivi, are you okay? God. Yo, Rusty, you're not okay, are you? Not alright, are you? What happened to you guys? Hey, Rusty, move it or lose it. Get up! It's no use. Oh no, Garnet, not you too. Garnet? She's out cold. Shoot, I'm falling asleep. Yeah. Can you hear a little bell jingle? I kind of talked over that. What's that sound? It came from over there. Is somebody there? So let's quickly do some things here. So first of all, put ourselves in the back row. That's a very good tip, I think. And also, even though we want to keep learning Protect Girls, it's a good idea to swap over to the Silk Shirt, because this battle can be pretty tough if you're not careful. So you need all the defense you can get. Yeah. And we have everything else we need for this. Any items to go over quickly? Yeah, I guess we can just do that quickly. So right now, Zidane is kind of forced into this little, like, frozen little walking animation. Hypothermia is, you know, that's scary. Like, that's like a real thing. Like, you get so cold, you just start kind of like, you get sleepy, you know? Why didn't you fall asleep? You should be dead by now. Are you the one causing this blizzard? Hee hee hee, that's right! Nice bell. That's, I believe that's a shout out, or like a reference to the, what is it, the Geomancer class from previous games? They use bells and cause like nature stuff to happen. Nature stuff. You know what I mean. And yeah, that's why it's causing a blizzard. Ice Giant Sealion! Come before me! Go, Sealion! So these guys, oof. So this is why you want to be in the back row, because look at this battle we're in. We're in a 2v1 battle with Zidane by himself. Which is, you know, a little scary. This is why you want the... This is why you want to be in the back row with this shirt, because it helps reduce the damage you take from Sealion a lot. Oops, I did not mean to attack that guy. That's unfortunate. Our trance gauge is rather high, and trance tends to be the key to winning this fight, which is kind of unfortunate because I want to steal... Both dudes have only 2 things to steal, which is, you know, nice when we're by ourselves. Because they only have 2 things to steal, it's a lot, you know, it's not as crippling. Hey, we got both of Black Waltz's things, so that's good. Because I bet you this is about to trance us right now. Is he gonna attack us? Yeah, there we go. As soon as you trance, immediately use Tidal Flame. If you have the Mage Master and you use Tidal Flame, I'm pretty sure it'll generally always one-shot the Black Waltz here. You get to see his ugh! Sealion! Kill him for me! It also immediately retaliates with his own Tidal Wave. Ow! And it makes him guard. We immediately want to throw a potion, because as you can see, that's a lot of damage. That's scary. In fact, during an Excalibur 2 Perfect Game, when you're at level 1 for this fight, that attack completely one-shots you. So this fight is terrifying, as you can imagine. However, even though we're in trance, we just kind of want to keep stealing. Hey, we got the Mithril Dagger first try, though. That's good. The Mithril Dagger is a roughly 1 in 4 chance, give or take some other values I haven't talked about yet. We'll go over like a lot of the mechanics in more depth later. Lazara, ooh. That's gonna hurt. Ow. And he should have, I believe, what does he have for us to steal? Damn it. I'm gonna throw a potion. Even though it's a 2v1 battle, as long as you're, like, that's pretty much, like, you basically have to transfer this fight, generally. Of course, it tends to happen a lot anyways. Like, even though you pretty much have to, it's like, it kind of inevitably happens anyways. There we go, we got the ether. Because, like, trance fills up when you take damage, and obviously if you're the only target in the fight, you're constantly getting hit. We have both the steals, so let's go to the front row and start smacking them up. Dippa 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 dippa. Bam! 100 damage. You can see Sealion's pretty tough. Black Waltz got obliterated by the Tidal Flame, but you know, Sealion's got a couple more hits in him. Bam! He's dead. Not too bad. That actually went really well, all things considered. We get 5 AP for our troubles, and you know, a little bit of money and a high potion, you know, good stuff. You defeated number 1, but number 2 and 3 will reclaim the princess. Who's there? Oh, whatever. I gotta go back and check on them. Oh, those wacky jesters. Zidane! Hey there, everyone okay? You! What just happened? It was no big deal. You're hiding something. Hey, nothing happened, you heard me. You didn't touch the princess, did you? Just what are you accusing me of? Steiner, he said nothing happened. Why are you being so rude? My apologies, princess. Well, I'm glad everyone is safe. Shall we move on? Zidane, is something bothering you? No, it's nothing. And, so yeah, so let's go ahead and slap that, leather shirt back on. So, we've got a Mithril Dagger here, and you can see that's got a nice big damage increase. But we want to keep learning Detect and Flee first. Detect isn't super useful unless you're doing, like, you know, blind runs and stuff, but Flee is legitimately very useful, especially when you're just trying to get through areas without, you know, getting, you know, bogged down by random encounters. I'm trying to think. Nah, I guess we're good. Let me quickly toss a potion on Zidane here. Yeah, no, we're pretty much good. Just arrange our menus here. Alright, let's head on over. I got one last little area to go through here. Do do do. Boop 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 boop. Jump over the waterfall. Jump over. Oh, one more encounter. What do you think it's gonna be? Is it gonna be imps or flan? My money's on imps. Damn it! We got a quadruple flan encounter. That's fine, because guess what? We get to watch Vivi do some damage. This'll be fun. Let's watch this happen. This is a pretty cool camera angle too. It's like above and to our backs. Because most formations have their own unique camera angle. It's kind of nice. You can see these guys can do quite a bit of damage with their ice spell. But watch this damage. Bam! Get annihilated. Garnet's finally at the same level as that one, and Steiner learned Bird Killer. I forget what equipment gives him that. Let me check here quickly. Butt mash that triangle. Okay, what does he get Bird Killer from? Got it from his armor, which kind of unfortunate because we can't buy armor from him for a while. So we're kind of stuck with that. Oh wait. I can also quickly give Zidane Protect Girls again. Protect Girls isn't super useful right now, but I mean, Garnet's HP isn't super. I mean, I say that, but it's not like her HP is that low. Anyways, let's leave this place. Ah, nice. What's this screen called? The exit. We made it through the mist. Oh, the sun feels great. Look, there's a village. I think I've been there before. Sounds like you've been everywhere, Zidane. The only other worlds I've visited are in books. You may have been to that village. Let's go visit. Wait, hold it. You're a princess. You can't just go rushing in there. People are looking for you. You need a new identity. Insolent fool! The princess need not sneak around. Besides, we're heading back to the castle. You leave her alone. And you will address her as princess from now on, you silly peasant. Damn it, Rusty, why don't you just shut up? Who do you think you are? I don't take orders from a stuck-up jerk like you. You guys. Stop it, you two. Steiner, I do not intend to return to the castle. And I do see Zidane's point. I need a new name. Zidane, what is this called? That's a dagger. All knives of that length are called daggers. Short swords are a bit longer, the big sword you hold with both hands is called a broadsword, and... Oh, okay, I understand now. So this is called a dagger. Princess, it's a weapon. Please be careful. I've decided. From now on, my name is... And welcome to the name that for some reason everyone freaking hates for some reason. I don't know why people get so up in arms about this name. It's she calls herself Dagger as like a disguise, basically, like. And I've never seen a problem with this. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like people say, like I've seen people even say like give it like a feminine Dagger version. It's like, what the heck? Like Dagger is just the name of the. It's like she's just naming herself after the dagger. But also, names are weird. Like, there's no basis. Jeez, I got a thing in my throat. There's no basis for names anyways. Names are all nonsense made up anyways. Like, many names have, like, meanings behind them. But, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, like the name, you know, like, Garnet. Like, Garnet, she's named after the stone Garnet. But, like, what's the stone named after, you know? Everything has its origins, and just, if someone had to make it up at some point... You know what I mean? Ooh. Oh, you know, there's also the fact that she's kind of, like, she's even said here, she's kind of sheltered, so I wouldn't exactly expect her to come up with the most creative name in the world. Anyways, I will be called Dagger from now on. What do you think, Zidane? Is that okay with you? Oh. I think that's from my... Wait, so is that supposed to be from Zidane's perspective, or... Let's just say okay. Great, Dagger. Now let's work on your speech. Try to sound more casual, like me. I shall try. No. What would Vivi say? Huh? Just say, alrighty. Alrighty. You're getting the hang of it. Well, let's go. I always love this single file line. Now, we can head to that village, but we got one little, there's one little, like, journey we can make before that, because you can see the village is over there, but there's also a little gate over here, like before. There's also more random encounters here, and there's a couple new ones. Maybe we'll see one of them. There's also just pythons. Ah, here we go. We got that spider dude. I don't actually remember what they're called. What's Mr. Spider called? Carve Spider. Oof! And his fire spell hurt. So be careful about that. We'll just use a cure-all. We'll beat up that spider before he keeps, beating us up. And we'll blizzard on the python. That should be good enough. Boom! Take a that. There's our first insect, actually. And there's the snake. Gone the way of the bushes. Because that makes sense. You can see we've already gotten a lot of cards, though. I might have to... I'll probably go into more detail about a certain thing about that later, but, we'll find out when we find out. So, question mark. There's another gate, though. Thing is, though, is that this gate is actually something we can normally go through, but not right now, because as we'll walk up here... Huh? What do you want to do? I want to pass through. You gotta have a gate pass to pass through here. There's no work right now. Try again when they need construction workers, yeah. Don't know gate pass, you can't go through there. I want to talk. South Gate is the border of Alexandria and Lindblom. We check every airship and person crossing the border. We're doing the best we can to keep the two nations safe. Have you ever been on an airship? Yeah, he just says the same thing. However, we can also say, I want to take a break. The shop girl at Vega won't be here for a while. I can wait. Then wait right here. And yeah, if we wait here for a little bit... And I do mean a little bit. Silence is frustrating. Here we go. Hello, I'm Mary. I work at Vega, an item shop. Sorry to keep you waiting. How can I help you? I want to rest. There's 100 gil to rest here. Sure thing. Way cheaper than using a tent, so, good idea. And we can also shop here. I want to shop. I think she just has items for sale. Yeah. We can buy antidotes, so I might as well. Get 5 of those. And we can get 2 tents, why not? Buy some Phoenix Downs. We got enough potions though, so we're good. Anything we can really sell? Not really. The thing with equipment is that you think, like, maybe I can just sell this dagger, but I'm going to highly recommend you don't ever sell any of your equipment for a reason we'll find out later. Occasionally it might be a good idea to sell, like, an ether or, like, a phoenix pinion for a little extra cash, because these aren't things we can really miss out on permanently, so it's no big deal, but, be careful about that. Anyways, I think that will be pretty much it for this part. We'll head on over to the village. Actually, we'll head to one other spot before we do that, because we can head inside. There's 2 spots over there. There's the village, but there's also the mountain over here next to it. So we can head over there first. And get an encounter. Ooh! I wasn't thinking this would show up right now, but... This is, you can notice the different music and a friendly looking moo. Yeah. So these are friendly monsters. There's a bunch of these throughout the game. Friendly monsters. Basically, yeah. Friendly monsters show up and they'll ask you to give them an item. And if you give them an item, they'll give you an item in return and a bunch of AP. However, I actually don't want to do this right now, because there's some interesting information I want to show up with friendly monsters that we can't see if, like, once I give this moo an ore, right? The moo's gone forever. So I want to show off something about that later, and because I'll have to wait until later in the game that I'll be able to have a proper chance to show that off. But so, I can't get in it. If you don't care about like any like weird like this doesn't matter for like anyone doing a playthrough. It's like if you just want to see, if you just want like moves will give friendly monsters give a lot of AP, so they're great for learning new abilities too. But yeah, we can come over here and ransack the observatory for a sec here. I don't think there's anything up top off the top of my head, but maybe there is. I don't know. I'll quickly check. You can look at this though. What is that? Yeah, there's nothing else up here. You can also head inside this guy's house though. See what he's up to. I believe this guy's name is Morid? Ah, my coffee smells delicious. You can look at this diorama. Didn't this model go on sale to commemorate the building of the 5th theater ship? I bought it at an auction in Treno. I have money to spend these days. What I really wanted was some rare coffee. My friend used to have one too, but I bet he lost it in the incident. I'll give it to you if you get me some rare coffee. Really? I don't lie. Let's see. I want to try Berman, Kerman, and Mocha coffee. If you find all of them, bring them back to me. So yeah, he's talking about, Zidane talking about Cinna here. Cinna had this model ship, right? We saw it in the, during the scene with the thing. With the thing, you know what I mean? Instructions. Shipping is to occur once every 2 days. No shipment on the day of the Sabbath. The ship will arrive in the morning if the mist is light, and in the afternoon if the mist is heavy. Important! In case of emergency, change the flag in the observatory to yellow. What interesting little document we can read. So yeah, this guy actually is a little side quest. If we, just like he says, we have a bunch of, we can find coffee throughout the game. And if we bring him this coffee, he'll actually give us that ship to give to Cinna. Which is, you know, a nice little thing. I guess while we're here, let's quickly look at these. So the Moogle's flute. A key item received in Evil Forest calls a Moogle while in the world map a beautiful flute with intricate decoration. Moogle's flute. Hey, let me touch that red bonbon looking thing on your head. Zzz. Baku sleep talking. The silver pendant. Dagger's key item. It's the little pendant she's wearing around her neck. The national treasure of Alexandria. The pendant has a jewel in the center. And the continental map. A key item received from blank. Checks current location and place names on the world map. Continental map. The road remains wide open while your dreams are alive. Only fear can block the way. Irontail Fratley. We'll be seeing Fratley later. Don't you worry. He's actually relevant, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, one more, like I was saying about the friendly monsters. I don't want to do them right now because I want to show off a interesting detail related to them that not a lot of people know, but in order to do that, I have to go out of my way to avoid actually engaging with them for a while, so we won't be getting any of their stuff for a while, but that doesn't matter if you, like, because I'll just show it off, so like, and I mean, technically speaking, you can just read it in the wiki if you really want to, but I want to show it off firsthand because I've never done it before, so that'll be cool. Anyways, yeah, but if you just want their AP to like learn your abilities right now, you know, go ahead and do that. Doesn't really matter. Well, let's go ahead and save. Yeah. So that'll be it for this part. See you guys later.